So,
I thought going to a lot of meetings would help.
Christie?
Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I think this is precisely why we need to take rate making out of the hands of elected officials. This is exactly what the problem was all along. If we're going to nitpick over every single little tiny aspect of rate setting for our electric utility, we'll never get anything done. That's the whole reason why the EUB exists and the reason why I have voted repeatedly to keep the EUB around. Now, I understand your concern, Larry, and I know that you would like to have would like to blow up the EUB tonight if you could. But the whole point of this is that the experts that need to make the decisions to set rates are the ones that are doing it. I have a little question about the PCA. That can be resolved with a work session, as Heath said, and I would be fine with that. But I think that we are going to the point now of second guessing every single decision that the utility board has made, and that is the whole reason why we need a board of public utilities that is statutorily correct, so that we don't have to do all these decisions ourselves.
Well, the state would beg to differ with you.
Excuse me?
So I guess
That's why it says statutorily correct, Larry.
I think from my perspective, we have a motion, we have a second. I am with Larry in that I think that there needs to be a better understanding of this. I mean, no matter what Steve says, until that's in place, we are going to be approving rates because that's the statute and they have to come before us. So I think for my comfort, I'd like to have a work session or whatever that is and understand how some of this stuff is calculated. But I also believe we cannot sit up here and say we're going to take the attorney's advice at one point and say we're not going to at another. And Ryan was very clear at the last meeting that he felt we needed to pass this ordinance, or this ordinance. So I'll just leave it at that.
Tori, Heath, any comments?
I would agree. I think a work session is needed so we can better understand the PCA. I do think passing these amendments is going to be a start to helping us fix some of the issues. Maybe it doesn't totally fix everything, but it is a good start. And I'm going to vote yes.
Heath, anything else? No. We do have a motion on the floor. Freeman, second shoot. Any other questions? Shoot.
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Podovich?
No.
Freeman? Yes. Roberts?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2445 passes. Thank you, John. New business item number 6, approve repairs to the step screen at the Kill Creek wastewater treatment plant. Brian Faust, good evening.
Good evening. This step screen is used at our wastewater treatment plant to help screen out objects that can actually mess with the plant. We have 2. One of them failed catastrophically in November. Perfect timing. Winter months are a good time for it to fail. We did receive a quote from Huber for repairs in January. We had to basically pull the step screen out, and if you haven't seen a step screen, it looks like an escalator. That's exactly what it looks like, and the flow of the influent comes through, and it basically collects all the larger particles. As water and flow rates increase this spring, we'll actually need to have both back up in service. We did talk to 2 local vendors, and when they got to looking at the step screen, they want to know part of it. We contacted the original supplier, which is Huber, and they are willing to come out and repair it, and at the same time look at the one that hasn't failed to make sure that it's up in good working order. So we're asking tonight that Huber be authorized to complete the repairs to the step screen in the amount of $39,487, which is their bid of $35,897 plus a 10% contingency. They're not quite sure what they're going to get when they start taking it apart, so we'd like to have the contingency in there. As we did note in the CAF, we did contact the insurance company. They came out and took a look at it. They really couldn't tell, so they want to be on site when Huber comes out to repair it.
Okay. That being the case, we've got, is there anybody in the audience that would like to make public comments about new business item number 6? It's an exciting item.
Just a question, what's the step screen?
Well, actually, it looks like an escalator in the shopping mall, and influent or flow from the city flows through it, and actually collects the larger particles that come through, and then we actually take those and haul them off to the landfill.
Thank you.
I'll let you have my photo later if you'd like. Okay, questions for Ryan?
Brian, do we have any idea whatsoever as to what could have caused the catastrophic failure of the step screen? I mean, it looks like there was definitely the buckling that took place on it.
There's actually a couple things that could have happened. Something could have got through our grinder system, which we would be surprised of, and it actually got in there and actually failed the system. There is some spalling of concrete in the area. The plant's about 13 years old. We could have lost a piece of concrete. And when you look at the picture, there's all these individual plates. There's actually spacers in between every single individual plate. And if one of those cut loose, that could have caused the failure too. We do very good maintenance at that plant. It's won a number of awards. The day before this happened, there was no noise in it. I mean, if we hear a squeaking or we hear something that indicates a bearing going out or something happening, we'll shut her down and take a look, but there was no indication.
It looks like a large object impact.
Yeah, that's kind of what we think, but...
And you're saying that we may be able to recoup some of this if insurance finds that there was...
Well, the insurance company's initial response is going to be, no, it's not their issue. But, you know, they want to be on site when it's disassembled to see if it was something that impacted it.
Thanks.
Brian, is the way we have it all set up, I mean, is it the industry standard? The only reason I ask that is because the two locals didn't want any part of it. Do we have anything that's terribly unique, or is it just a special expertise to be able to handle it?
It's really a special expertise. I mean, there's a lot of parts that are individually machined. There's spacers that are just that company can provide.
Okay, so it's not that we have truly an out-of-date technology or anything?
No, not at all.
It's just specialized,
Right.
very specialized. Okay, that's my only question.
Anyone else with questions? Would entertain a motion.
I move we approve staff's request that Huber be authorized to complete the repairs to the step screen in an amount of $39,487, $35,000 plus a 10% contingency, $35.90 to cover any unanticipated items.
Second.
Motion Harrison, second, should that staff be authorized the staff request to Huber be authorized to complete the repairs on the step screen in the amount of $39,487. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? New business item 6 passes. Thank you, Ryan. New business item number 7. Consider holding an executive session to discuss personnel matters relating to non-elected personnel, specifically the city administrator evaluation. Mary, how much time are we anticipating needing for this?
15?
15?
You sure that's enough? I'm just making sure, I can't remember from last year. 15?
We could always come back out.
Okay.
I think 15.
Okay. The council president suggested that maybe we spend a little time doing council updates, staff for council, council for staff, as opposed to having, you know, not everybody's necessarily going to want to hang around for the end of the executive session. So is there anybody on staff that has updates for council?
Mr. Mayor, I just would like to update council on the Divine Mercy Church Addition building permit. The question was raised at the last meeting. Just some of the comments I received recently indicate that there are misunderstandings about what has occurred with that project. And so I'll just, if I could just summarize, please.
Sure.
Certainly.
Some of the questions that have been raised are why